What is up, everybody? My name is Locken. I'm a Gwent content creator and streamer, and more recently a member of Team Aretuza, an international Gwent practice team. And today, just to get straight into what we're talking about, because I'm sure everyone already knows, we're talking about the most recent thing, Twitch drops. And I don't want to waste any time getting into it, because I want to start right away. Keep this short. For those who are unaware, Twitch drops are basically a thing where you link your GOG account with your Twitch account. Then through that, by watching streams of people who have at least 100 viewers or more, you are awarded occasionally rewards for watching these streams and these streamers. It's a periodic thing. It doesn't repeat terribly often, but it repeats often enough that you have a chance to be winning this, I believe, up to every 30 minutes. Also, you have a chance to win this while watching the Gwent Challenger stream coming up, and you are guaranteed to win if you watch at least, part of it. You're guaranteed to get certain things. So by watching streamers with at least 100 viewers, you guarantee yourself a chance, and by watching the Gwent Challenger, you give yourself a guarantee to get at least something. And we're going to break down why that's good in some aspects and terrible in others, because I had initially planned to sleep before I made this video. I've been up about 19 hours at this point. I just got done streaming for 7, so I will hope I don't lose my voice at any point during this, and I apologize if I look a little bit more haphazard than usual, but I wanted to get this opinion out there very quickly. I feel this is something that the longer it sits, the worse it gets for the game and the community as a whole, even though there's already been a lot of strong opinions on this. The first thing is, I think that day-to-day streams have nothing to do with Twitch drops. I think Twitch drops are terrible for day-to-day streams. I think the average Twitch viewer doesn't benefit from drops. The average Twitch viewer doesn't watch streamers because of Twitch drops. They watch because of the streamers. The problem is Twitch drops incentivize the lurker, and by that I mean the person that never really watches. They just may have it AFK on a different window, or if anything, it encourages people that don't ever watch to watch, mute, and never look at. And while that may seem appealing at first to boost numbers, it does nothing for the actual content of the game. Numbers alone don't actually give streamers anything in terms of viewers, except a slightly higher place on the leaderboard, which doesn't actually do anything on its own at the moment anyway, since everyone's numbers will be inflated from Twitch drops at the moment anyway. A classic example of when everyone's super, no one's super sort of thing. Twitch drops should only be used, in my opinion, for official streams, and by that I mean if you wanted to do them for official reveal streams, this would be acceptable. Obviously you'd have to look at doing more than 20 cards at a time for something like this, but you get the gesture. But more importantly, they should be used for masters and challengers and CDPR sanctioned tournaments. That includes things like Gwent Slam. When CDPR gives their okay and gives the ability for crown points to be awarded at something, that should be viable for Twitch drops as well, because that is Gwent in its purest, highest form. And Twitch drops do one thing. They attract viewers that would not normally be watching. That's the primary focus. They do not attract normal viewers. Normal viewers don't care about Twitch drops when they decide what to watch, really. All that Twitch drops do for them is incentivize them to watch big streamers, but they were already going to watch a streamer anyway. It doesn't do anything for them on whether or not they were going to watch Gwent, really. So the point is that these drops should incentivize people to tune in to the biggest, highest, purest forms of Gwent. Gwent Slam, Life Coach does a phenomenal job. The Challenger, the Master, CDPR do a phenomenal job. They should incentivize people to watch this like they're doing with the Master, or the Challenger, sorry, because this is what you should be having people watch if they're interested in the game. You want people to watch this so that they can get interested in the game and then they download it. The problem is, that's not what this is just for. This is affecting day-to-day streamers, and the problem with that is it's a very trickle-down system. The idea, of course, being that by inflating Gwent's numbers on the Twitch leaderboard, the idea is that more people will see it, more people will be more likely to tune in and watch, and then they'll think, wow, that looks really interesting, and they'll go to play the game and download it and become, a huge fan like everyone else. When trickle-down doesn't work as intended, it just bloats the top, and the people at the bottom, the bottom of the plant, they don't get the nutrition that they need to be able to grow, and when that doesn't work, then the top eventually fades. And basically what I'm saying is, the people that are be joining in for Twitch drops will be new players. They will very desperately want new things because they will have nothing to work with. So these players will join in wanting new things, so they will continue to watch the same streamer as before, but not because of anything other than the Twitch drops. All they care about is the free stuff because that's what they want. Maybe that's not inherently bad on its own, but the problem is people that will have the stream AFK, or the people that will just mute it and have it in the background and never watch it. And maybe that's okay. Maybe just people muting the streams in the background is okay, which personally I could live with if that was all that this was going to be bringing about. But the problem is this doesn't just that. The other thing that it brings up is vodcasts, a thing that I despise above most other things on Twitch. The idea that a large streamer could stream for 12 hours, stop streaming, stream their VOD for another 12 hours, garner hundreds of views because of the way Twitch drops work, finish their vodcast and instantly step back up to stream because it denies their competition and because of the fact that it gives them more, notoriety, is a terrible system in my opinion. If you're not streaming, your stream should not be a part of the viewing experience. It's not what Twitch is. Twitch is a live gaming experience. The vodcast belongs to something like YouTube, for example, not on Twitch. And by allowing vodcasts to give Twitch drops, it incentivizes streamers to do this thing because they would be foolish not to. And again, this is more of that bloating at the top, because even when these streamers aren't live streaming, they're still technically streaming, and they're creating more of this bloating at the top. It creates another problem too, in that there's a huge difference now between having 80 viewers and 90 viewers. Before, the difference between 80 viewers and 90 viewers was likely no different than 60 to 50. The problem now is, of course, someone with 81 viewers and someone with 91 viewers. Someone with 91 viewers might have people more likely to join the stream because it's almost at 100. And the moment you hit 100, your numbers will skyrocket because now you're eligible for Twitch drops. People are willing to join your channel because they know there's something in it for them. And that's the problem. Again, new streamers can't afford this. New streamers can't afford this because they're already plagued with the problem of someone at the top has 1,600 viewers and they only have 1. Now someone at the top has 3,000 and they can't even get 1. They're so far down. And the problem is, if you sit these people, these 3 or 4 people in each time slot at the top, eventually what will happen is they will dominate the market so much, those middle ground streamers will eventually have to fade out. The bottom streamers will give up and never try, but the middle streamers, the people like myself or people on my team that I know very well, that are attempting to make this into something, and sitting in the middle, not quite there, but not here either, just somewhere in the middle, can't afford this. You can't sit an average viewer of 50 and expect to be able to compete with someone whose average viewership is 300. Before this, you didn't expect to. You understood that you had 50 and they had 300. But now suddenly someone that has 300 before has 1,200 and you might have 45, because now some of the people that were used to watch you don't feel there's any incentive in them for it, and they will leave and flock away. And that's just... it just brings it back to the problem of bloating at the top will not result in trickle down for the rest of the community. There's no incentive to. At least the philosophy behind trickle down economics in economics is that it gets money flowing back into the system from the top down, and then it trickles down. But there's no incentive to trickle down with Twitch drops. There's no incentive to watch smaller streamers. And it's not just a problem of the 100 viewer number being too large for a game still is in its infancy state as Gwent. It has nothing to do with the numbers. The problem is it has everything to do with the fact that newer streamers can't compete, because big streamers have no reason to not vodcast to grow their brand, and have no reason to not just continuously dominate their market, and people will flock to them because, again, they see something in it for them. The Twitch drop system is not made for the average Twitch viewer, and that's why Gwent's numbers are so much higher, because the average Twitch viewer is no longer the majority of the Twitch viewer. It's now the majority of Gwent's viewers are the people who see something in it for them to have the stream open. Also, scarcity is a very big thing to look at here. As Twitch drops become more scarce, people have more incentive to tune in for them. These one-time rewards are much more valuable than repeatedly. So by making these appear only on Gwent Masters and Challenger events and Gwent Slam events, people are more incentivized to tune into these because the rewards are more exclusive. The value of 50 ore or 20 meteorite powder goes down vastly if they can earn that at half-an-hour increments versus being able to earn it for free every 2 or 3 weeks. Lastly, we have one final problem. For streamers that are so inherently large or don't interact with their chat normally, like for example Super JJ, someone much more focused on the competitive aspect and those people will watch him regardless, this is not a big deal. This doesn't change anything for him. His numbers will not be hyperinflated by this. Someone who was already pulling 2,600 viewers may now pull 3,200, but they don't care. It doesn't change the way that they stream. But someone that was pulling, let's say, 50 viewers, now what they're doing is they may be pulling 65 viewers now, if even, which seems optimistic, but let's assume that they are pulling 65. Those extra 15 viewers are not there for the stream. They're there to see if they can earn these drops or if they can earn anything with it, and that's again the problem. As a viewer, I would totally love this system. It's free stuff. But as a content creator, this system has me concerned. How can I continue to grow my brand against brands that are already established? How can I continue to put myself out there against a brand that is dominating over 80% of the market? Because that's likely what's happening. Twitch drops are, to compare it to an economy, they're a monopoly, is what they create. Someone who's at the top is incentivized to remain at the top because people will flock to them. It creates an economy on the market. And it's happening again in Twitch. And the biggest example, and it's the one that you'll always hear about because it was the greatest failure, was Elder Scrolls Online, the card game for the Elder Scrolls. Twitch drops destroyed the streaming community for that system, mostly because all the top streamers just became vodcast events. People just tuned into vodcast because they didn't care what the streamer was doing or what they were saying or the interaction. All they cared about was, can I get these drops? Yes, that's good enough for me. And people that were trying to stream and try to interact with chat were finding little people to do so. And again, that's another problem. People who have vodcasts at the top are blocking people from the bottom who are actually streaming, trying to interact with chat. And if what makes you a streamer is your ability to interact and have fun and analyze with chat, you are losing this ability because your viewers are being taken away from you. Of course, you always have the core viewers around you who don't care, your average Twitch viewer that is loyal to a few set streamers, but the large majority of these people will flock away, and as they do, they will take in that middle ground, that core viewer base that, while not intensely loyal to you, is always happy to tune in when you're on. And this is, again, another problem. This is by no means meant to be aggressive at all. I have complete faith in CDPR, actually, despite this. If this was a different company, I would be very concerned. CDPR has shown a lot of subtlety in dealing with these situations in the past, and they've shown that they keep their ears to the street. My hope is that they're keeping their ears very close to the street this time. In my opinion, this is not something that we can wait out 2 weeks to see how this pans out. I don't think this is an experiment to be taken out further than 2 or 3 days, and I would like it to be seen dealt with as soon as possible, just for the sake of the longer that this waits, the more hyperinflated the top becomes. And the more hyperinflated the top becomes, the more the people in the middle and the bottom suffer. And the more the middle people and the bottom people suffer, the harder it is to recover later on down the line. And I think that while Twitch drops inherently can be a good thing, like all things, they're good in moderation, but there's no way to moderate Twitch drops. The only way to moderate it is to control when they're released. And I hope to see that implemented, and I hope to see that further down the line from now, just beyond this challenger. And that it stays away from the day-to-day functions of normal stream life. As it, in my opinion, doesn't have anything to do with what a streamer does. A streamer is meant to entertain and to provide either an educational or an entertaining experience, but the drops do neither. The drops are free, and that's great, but I would rather see them done in the ways of faction challenges or in-game achievements and quests rather than through Twitch drops, and would prefer to see them kept separate. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think. I'm really open to see the comments on this one. Alright, thanks guys.